Has this discussion on tariffs impacted you in any way?
I think it's impacted every manufacturer, right? So if you look at, and that's really 4 months ago. I mean, you saw China was a big tariff, and the beginning of March it was 25%, then jumped up 37.5%, then it jumped to 52.5%. Yeah, unfortunately for us, sometimes timing works for you, and sometimes it works against you. And we had a huge amount of product hit during that 152 range, so it affects us pretty dramatically. And we made the steps we need to make and trying to adjust costs on our side and expenses. And we ate it, unfortunately. Shows in our financials, but that's it is what it is, right? That's the past, and so we have to look at moving forward. But so that affected, if you weren't moving out of China fast enough on your manufacturing, you got hit with that. If you move to Vietnam or Malaysia or Indonesia or any of these other places, recently they got hit with tariff increases also. So now you're looking at 19% out of Malaysia. I think Vietnam's 19% also. So it's there's no, you can't hide from it anymore. It was 4 months ago you could hide from it. Today you can't. It's just one of those things that we're all facing as a industry. And I think probably most manufacturers are addressing it the same way we are. We're gonna have to increase in costs. There's no question about that. It's pricing. But we're also looking at cutting internal costs anywhere we possibly can to mitigate as much of that price increase as we possibly can. But it's just a fact of life right now, and I think it's one thing we're all going to have to adapt to, and we'll see how everybody adapts to it.
Yeah, there's no question, and it gives us all cause for concern, obviously.
Yeah, I guess the one kind of light at the end of the tunnel is at least now there seems to be some consistency to what's happening with the tariffs. In other words, I think what you see now is what you're going to get, right? So we can plan our business, which is it's a lot of what we have to do looking forward. And once it sets and it is what it is, then we all adjust.
Yeah, I think there is no other way. I mean, that's what you have to do, and that's what has to be done. Do you see any other diversity coming in terms of technology to kind of help dealers in terms of broadening what they're able to sell?
Yeah, so our path is, a lot of manufacturers went to the MSP model, right? And we purposely did not do that for a couple of reasons. One is I think dealers on their own can make their own decisions on what to do in the MSP space, and they probably didn't really need our help in doing that, because there are a lot of really good companies out there that can tell dealers and help dealers in how to make money in the MSP space. We chose to go more to to expanding our thermal business into our software business, and we're making a lot of. The great thing about software, there's no tariffs on software, so that gives you a more consistent business model.
I didn't even know that. No tariffs on software.
Yeah, so it's that sure, listen, it helps you in what you're going to plan to do in the future. And so over the years, we've probably been doing it longer than any other manufacturer has, and our cloud business has really expanded. And right now, with our cloud business, we've built up a very, very healthy annuity stream that's growing. I mean, last year we grew our annuity stream 31%. Pretty good. And a business that has got great margins in it. So it's working out well for us, and we feel very confident in the path and the strategy we've chosen. And listen, we try to help dealers in that space any way we possibly can. We resell other products. In fact, we're on the DocuWare side. I think it's pretty well known that we're, if not still DocuWare's largest customer, we're close to it. So although it's my competitor's product, it's a good product. We sell it, and we sell a lot of it, and we built a healthy business around that. But and things how we're expanding is we've just launched a workflow, our own internally developed workflow software, which is phenomenal. It's AI driven, so for document recognition, things of that nature, there's nothing better in the marketplace. We just introduced our Translate software, so it's powered by Google AI, And in the past, if you saw a translate software, it would translate words, right? This translates contextually. So if you have a document, the school document, and by the way, in schools, schools have to provide translation services. So it's just one of the things they have to be able to do. So in a school environment, our translation software can fit a need that just any school district around the United States can use. And we've launched that, I think, about 5 months ago, and we've had incredible success with that in a very short term. But it allows you to translate contextually. In other words, if I'm reading a legal document, it'll translate with the context of what that legal document is, or healthcare document, whatever it is, which is very unique in that space. So we're excited about that. So again, a lot of investment in that space, which is we look at places where we can make a lot of margin and where the dealers can make a lot of margin.